Andrew and Jordan, who love to live it up.
All we spend our money on is going clothes shopping, getting takeaways and going out drinking with our friends.
And how can they afford this? By still living at home with Andrew's entire family. Parents Andy and Debbie, brother Connor, and sister Caitlin.
Getting right in my road.
You're getting right in my road? I'm not just having my dinner.
Oh my God.
Andrew, 19, and Jordan, 20, have been together for a year.
The first thing that attracted me to Andrew was obviously his looks, but then when I got to know him, it was his personality.
Do you want to, like, methane top or, like, kind of flat?
Surprised me.
I just realised he was a nice person as well, and he'd always put others before himself.
Like, I always fancied him because I never really knew him, but when I got to know him, it was definitely like more personality-wise. I can see he's been together for a really long time.
But although the boys consider themselves a perfect match, they're also quite different.
I'm the wee narky one that just moans about everything and tells Jordan what to do.
I'll just buy clothes, just go to the cinema, sweets, crisps, anything. And if I don't spend it all, I'll probably come home and do online shopping.
Like, I'm just the one that's a wee bit more, like, grown up.
And while opposites attract, they also cause massive arguments, not ideal in a crowded house.
Bit of a nightmare when they're out in the raz and they come in at 3 o'clock in the morning.
You hear the two of them argue from the minute they get in the gate.
I think it's just because one of us is always so drunk, we'll just pick up on any stupid wee thing.
They come in the front door and they'll have a tiff at the front door.
And then everything just comes up, and we just throw it into each other just to be nasty and be like, you did this, even if it was like 6 months ago.
You hear the door getting slammed, opened, slammed.
He's the more argumentative one.
You see.
Currently, the boys only pay £20 a week for accommodation, a well-stocked fridge, a full-time cleaner, and even a laundry service. Which means Andrew and Jordan don't have to lift a finger.
Mum does all the chores in the house, so we don't really need to do that much. Like, we've got it pretty easy living here.
With few responsibilities, these two are free to blow their wages on designer clothes and partying.
Can I get 2 double vodka black hot lemonade, please?
We'll spend like up to £100 between both of us, and it's not really that good. It's disgusting when you think about it, isn't it?
And while Andrew and Jordan are having the time of their lives,
That is what I had to deal with.
living at mum and dad's is starting to cramp their style.
Like, all together, there's 6 of us in here. Everyone steps on each other's toes and gets in your way, and you just cannot get any privacy at all.
So Andrew's insisting it's time to stop living off his parents and get a place of their own.
Jordan loves the fact that there's 6 people living here, but I hate it. Like, I hate it being such a busy house. I'd love for us to have like a bit more privacy and a bit more kind of space just for us to be a couple.
And Debbie and Andy are very much in agreement.
Andrew's at the age now where he should be away learning some more life skills on his own, and I want his room for a home gym.
The only person who isn't keen is Jordan, as moving out means curbing their lifestyle.
We're living here and not paying that much for like rent or whatever, and then we still struggle with money now, so could you imagine if we had to pay rent? I think it just sounds so, like, not in my reach at all.
Which means that Andrew has a big job on his hands, trying to persuade his other half it really is time to grow up.
I think Jordan doesn't want to move out because, like, just because of how easy it is here.
So, for Andrew to convince Jordan that moving out is better than going out, we're giving them the chance to spend 1 week in a home of their own. But will Jordan be persuaded?
Once he sees like what it's like for us to have our own living room and our own kitchen and stuff like that, then he might feel like the same way as me. All we spend our money on is going out drinking with our friends.
How on earth will they cope out in the real world on the road test this week? We're giving both couples the money they need to try renting a place of their own for a week, but it's the same budget they would have if they were going it alone for real. But it's Jordan that needs some persuasion in Glasgow. He needs to swap his spending from lager to lodgings.
I'm earning about just over £600 a month. Together with your wages and your student loan, you're earning just over £1,000. So it's about £1,600.
But with just £80 a month going on rent, what do they spend it on?
But that's only what we spend a week on drinking. So if you times it by 4 and get a month's worth, it's the drinking that we need to cut out if we're going to move out. Because that's our biggest spend.
The boys work out that they have a drinks bill of £800 a month.
I didn't think it would work out as that much.
But while Andrew is thinking cutbacks, Jordan is still worried about his booze fund.
He was more, oh, fancy flat, and I was like, no, you have to think that's less money for stuff for during the week.
I know it's not going to be something pure, like a penthouse suite in New York or something, but I would like it to be somewhere we'd enjoy living. We wouldn't want to hate where we stay.
Out to look at potential flats. They both see one cheap one.
Can you not touch that bed? It's a bit strange wee cupboard, isn't it?
No.
Like, this is perfect location for what we wanted. Like, we spend our time in bars and clubs right in the city centre.
Surprise, surprise, they all decide to splash the cash on the fancy flats. And the expensive flat leaves Andrew and Jordan with just £200 for the week. Time to reveal their pricey plans to Andrew's parents.
My wages now, because I'm doing different shifts at the weekend, I'm overtime and that, and all hits together, it came to £1,600.
You've been taking £80 a month off them?
But,
Okay.
and then we'd put like...
You might be revealing too much to your mum.
Yes, yeah. My head's just going like this now. This is going to be a big test for them if they can manage this for the week and not have to borrow more money off whoever, then I will be surprised.
3 important questions then. When do you move? Do you need a hand to pack? And do you need a lift?
Up in Glasgow, the packing is causing problems for Andrew and Jordan too.
10, 11, 12, really, 12 shirts. Is there any need for that?
On Wednesday, I'll need one for stuff to wear that day and stuff to wear that night. The same with Saturday when you're working during the day, I'll need something to wear that day and something to wear that night.
12 shirts.
On the brink of moving out, Jordan is still worried about the impact this will have on his lovely lifestyle.
If we have money enough to go do the stuff that we've got planned, then that would persuade me, but if we run out of money, then that'll prove that I was right.
Meanwhile, Andrew's mum Debbie can't wait to wave them off.
I'm actually quite excited at the minute that they're leaving. Looking forward to them getting their own space and us getting a wee bit of space for a bit.
But with Andrew now thinking that he might need 12 shirts as well, will they be leaving any time soon?
It's always better to have too much stuff than to not have something there that you want.
Are you actually kidding on? When I was taking loads of shirts from one to me?
I know, but I've changed my mind.
Exactly. I'm always right.
You're not always right and talk absolute rubbish.
Eventually, the boys are ready to go. And, keen to get them out, Debbie's offering them a door-to-door service to their new home.
Be good. Don't be having any wild parties.
But when things seem to be going well,
Home sweet home.
they realise that unbelievably, there's something they forgot to pack.
There's no duvet here, or pillows for a bed. We're going to have to sleep with cushions off a couch. I knew we should have brought them pillows, man.
With tempers flaring in the north,
God's sake.
Andrew is trying to work out how they can party like princes and pay the bills all for 200 quid.
So there's bill money, and you don't touch that.
So he breaks out the Tupperware and splits their cash into separate boxes.
And shopping in general.
Let's hope they don't need a packed lunch this week.
We have to put it in like separate wee tubs, separate bits of money, and we're not going to touch it unless that's what it's actually for. That's the last night, so let's put this away so we don't spend it. We should hopefully be fine.
That's sorted.
Cool, that's us. We'll do it. Just don't touch that box.
They're starting their road test as they mean to go on and going out boozing. But can they do it on the cheap?
As long as we only take out a certain amount of money tonight, that's all we can spend.
And tonight the plan is...
And we're going to roughly spend about £30, hopefully.
Probably more.
Fingers crossed.
While Jordan's doubtful, Andrew wants to show him they can afford a flat and a life.
We're walking up and save taxi money and all that for the budget.
But can they resist this much temptation?
Right, can I have 2 double vodka black currant lemonade, please?
Cheers.
One was for Jordan. They made me do two.
Well, they're definitely having a good time, but are they skinned?
We put a separate amount out tonight for our night out tonight. We've only spent that. We've not spent any more, so I think we're doing okay. Like, we're both drunk, but that is what we expected. Like,
It's midnight and the boys still have money to spend, but for how long? There's an obligatory food stop, and despite their city centre flat being a 10-minute walk away,
thank you.
Budget, come on, I'll hold you up.
final verdict, take the taxi, and then carry on drinking at home. Miraculously, at the end of the night, they still have money left. Andrew and Jordan are also facing their new life without a living cleaner.
Noodles.
That was nice.
At least a trashed house is a sign of a good time, something Andrew wanted to show Jordan they could do on a budget.
Me more than Jordan really wants to have our own space as a couple. So obviously this week I wanted to try to show him that we can move out and how good it would be to move out. The good thing for him has been the fact that we can have friends up. Like if we're out at a bar, then they can come back to our flat. I think that will be something that will persuade them more.
Andrew's plan might already be working because junk food loving Jordan is using the room with the fridge and the oveny thing for the first time in his life.
I've never actually sat down and cooked someone a proper meal. Except I cooked Mum and Dad a meal one time, but I gave them food poisoning.
Okay, great. But surely even Jordan can't poison anyone with macaroni cheese and garlic bread.
I hope it's easier than I think it's going to be, but I don't know. I feel a bit nervous, hope he likes it.
Looks lovely.
I think I burnt it.
At least he's trying.
I never knew that he wanted to try cooking. He doesn't like tidying up, and I suppose that's something I've learned about him, is that he does want to try other things.
Cheese sauce, I don't think I'm doing right.
Oh my God.
Is that wrong?
But good intentions alone will not turn him into Gordon Ramsay.
This is fucking revolting. How did this happen? Oh.
I think it looks that bad.
So Andrew steps in and the romantic meal is back on.
It's nice, isn't it?
He always says, oh, you can't cook, and I wanted to prove to him, no, I can actually cook. But it was terrible.
Dinner may not be up to Mum's standards, but at least the day ends, once again, on budget.
Thank you for dinner.
The boys have put their partying aside to tackle their new responsibilities head on.
You can do it. I ain't doing that.
This is covered in pee and stuff.
Good luck.
As they attempt just some of the jobs Andrew's mum does for them every day.
Is your piss like that? It's making me choke, actually.
Let's give myself a wee bit.
There's a hair on this, man. That's pure skanky.
Even Christy moan less than these two.
It's disgusting.
It's another big first for Jordan, cleaning his first sink.
Did you just put this on here like this?
Oh, you just scoosh it like that.
Really?
And both the boys are beginning to appreciate just how much Andrew's mum does for them.
Give me the book. How does my mum do this? Have you heard her mum talking about, I clean that bathroom every single day. But this is disgusting. I can't believe she actually does this.
I wouldn't clean it even if I had to clean up your pee.
So you're telling me if I never clean this, you just leave it? To start stinking like piss?
It smells like cheese for yesterday anyway.
My mum and dad always moan at us because, see, if we have a shower, we never like rinse it after we've had a shower. And my dad always moans at us. I think if we actually moved back home, I would, because I realise now it's quite annoying to clean a bath.
Yeah, I think but we would do it now after being here ourselves. If I did move back in, we would do it now.
Now the bathroom is presentable, they've invited some friends round and they're sharing their long-term plans for the flat.
You want a leopard print living room?
That'll look expensive and fashionable.
It's tacky. It's the most tackiest thing in the world. If we keep this on, my dog is coming here.
We're not getting a pet.
My dog's coming here.
They're 3 days into their road test, and whilst Jordan is starting to sound more at home, they're also still bang on budget thanks to Andrew's scheming.
We had £40 for tonight. Basically, we can get more for our money if we buy vodka from the shop.
And tonight, he's at it again because, despite planning yet another night out, he's cleverly found a pub quiz for the money conscious.
We're getting in for free, and then we've got, you get like free pizza, free nachos served to your table, and then you get a jug of like free shots.
Can we get 2 vodkas and black currant lemonade, please?
But a bargain doesn't get you Michelin stars.
With like a teeny wee bowl of like salted crisps, no cheese or anything like I'm like that. Oh my god, I really want to buy food, and I don't want to because we've got this budget for drinks tonight to have a night out. But I'm so hungry. I'm fucking starving.
But it looks like Andrew's bargain booze hunting has had the desired effect on Jordan.
Do you want to move out now?
Yeah, no, I do.
Like, actually, both of you want to move out?
Yeah, we just need to really sit and think, can we afford it?
So will they be able to keep their expensive inner city flat and live the high life?
There's also a term given to 3 strikes in a row.
But in Glasgow, can Jordan get his priorities in order? Boyfriend Andrew thinks a cosy night in will show him another plus point to moving out.
It's been nice like spending like so much time together again, and like being able to just talk to each other all the time, and like especially tonight because it's only going to be us two. It has been nice just to be like kind of by ourselves, like a bit more of a couple.
And Jordan is really warming to the idea of living alone.
Just being able to just walk about and go to the shower when you want, not have to fight over the toilet, make breakfast in the morning without someone else being there. It's brilliant to have it.
That looked nice. That looks like a proper pizza.
We get on better here, and we don't bicker as much over stupid wee things, and it's not. It doesn't feel like a wee immature relationship. It actually feels like a grown-up relationship.
Oh my god, this is pure stinking like strong cheese. We are both kind of planning like our like kind of immediate future together anyway. Like emotionally, that means like we are both kind of like we're obviously both happy. We're both kind of settled being with each other.
It feels like we're actually trying to move on instead of just saying it's just my boyfriend. I stay in his house. We're trying to get our own flat for just us two.
The next day, they take the plunge and discuss making this move a permanent one.
Like last night was so good and like pure made me like that's the kind of thing I was like wanting last night. Like for us, because we just don't get any privacy in the house. Well, we do kinda, but it's not the same. Like last night was something we've never ever done before. Like you said, never ever had a house to ourselves. So like knowing that we could actually have that all the time is just pure amazing.
I think we've proved that to people and ourselves that we can actually live together and we can budget.
In fact, they're both so committed that they've decided to introduce their parents for the first time. They're bravely cooking dinner and frugally using leftover ingredients.
I think cooking my parents a meal is like paying them back kind of for all the meals they've cooked us and all that when we've been younger, or even Andrew's mum and dad when we've been staying in his. So it's given us the opportunity to let them be treated for once.
To avoid any poisoning, Jordan is only allowed to grate the cheese.
Like we just want to make sure they enjoy it and it's a good night for them.
And after a few finishing touches, the boys are ready for Jordan's parents, Pam and Keith.
How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Hi, fine.
To meet Andrew's parents, Debbie and Andy.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
All right, you?
Hi.
Hiya, pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you, pal.
I'm looking forward to this all weekend.
Oh, aye.
Oh, very nice. Really? Thank you.
Richard?
Like all great hosts, they stand watching them eat, whilst their guests give them a grilling.
So much is this to rent a month, Jordan?
$5.50.
It's quite a lot into it right now.
Do you think you could keep this place on? Realistically?
No, we could like we could afford it, but it'd be a different lifestyle, wouldn't it, love?
Lovely. What are we eating then?
Very nice, boys.
As they serve up spaghetti carbonara, their parents dish out a little bit of advice.
If you could sacrifice
If they could sacrifice.
a bit of a lifestyle, because this is part of your lifestyle.
That's it.
I feel as if the way they're speaking to us tonight's like a wee bit different. Like they're treating us with like more respect, kind of. Like they're asking our opinion.
So they're asking us stuff that grown-ups can ask other grown-ups and not just their children.
If you've made this your main priority, then you look at other things as a bonus. You know.
They are really, really respecting any decisions we want to make on keeping this place long term.
No.
We still take advice from our parents and we still need that, so they're giving us that, but also treating us and our decisions with respect, so we couldn't have asked for anything more.
But now it's down to the boys alone to make this tough decision. Whereas Jordan's shock turnaround has only been for the better.
It's just starting to feel like home, like ours, just the stuff we can do in it and location and everything. Just this time last week I thought we'd have been in no money left. When I didn't have this flat, I'd have went and bought trainers, then not had enough for my bus pass to get to work that weekend. Have to go to Mum, like, Mum, I need money. But the way we budgeted for money, like, I'm actually proud of us.
In fact, they've got 40 quid left for the last night of their road test. Tomorrow, it's decision time, so tonight, you guessed it, they're having another house party.
Are you enjoying it, Button? You like the fact we can actually have friends up? And
It's so good, see, not having to ask anybody anything, just get them up, it's so good.
Even their friends have seen a big change in the boys.
I think Andrew and Jordan are doing surprisingly well, considering for the 3 years I've known them, they were just completely non-independent at all. It's nice having a flat that I can crash in for once.
They end on a high with £5 left in their pockets, yay! But tomorrow, they must finally decide between independence or the hotel of Mum and Dad. The next morning, they have some cleaning up to do and a decision to make.
this week's definitely proved to me anyway that we could live alone as a couple. We're both loving like the privacy and having our own space.
Everybody, like even family, friends, as soon as I told them we're doing this, we're like, oh God. But I think we've proved people wrong for a change.
The only thing that's going to make us have to go back home is having to budget in the price of the flat.
And while they struggle to make the right choice, Debbie and Andy are thinking either way the boys have done a lot of growing up.
It's actually really nice seeing the two of them realising what I clean every day with 6 of us being in the house when there's only 2 of them.
Obviously, what you're saying is they've enjoyed, for want of a better word, a grown-up relationship.
But do they think they can go it alone on a full-time basis?
It's good to see you guys. How have you enjoyed your week then?
It was good.
It's been good to be out of the house, have some privacy, a bit of peace and quiet from the jungle. What's it been like since we've been away? Have you noticed a difference?
I have missed you, but it's nice getting up in the morning and the kitchen's still tidy. And there's not a big pile of dirty washing lying outside the bathroom. It's gone.
Believe me, if he's come back, he's probably doing a wee bit more cleaning up.
We don't really have time for that.
Oh, I don't have time for it.
Of course you have time for it. You had time for it the past week. So, where do we stand then? Have you managed to talk Jordan into moving out?
Nope.
Not that he's not, because it was good, but it was just, we looked at all the money and it was like £930 or something a month just to stay in that one we were in.
We need to wait till we're both getting a bit more money.
I think you have done really well with your budget. I'm really surprised, actually. I thought you would have blown it.
We're going to get our heads proper in it and save up, and maybe in about 6 months' time, we'll be back in this kind of position.
Yeah.
I think before we moved into the flat for the week, my mum and dad just kind of seen us as a bit of a teenage romance, like nothing serious. But in the flat, I think they've seen a different side to our relationship and to us as people.
Feeling quite relieved that they've made a decision to come back home because I don't think financially they're ready yet. They've actually been pretty mature about it. Can hold their heads up high. I think they've done really well.
My attitude to moving out has definitely changed. Like before we moved out, I had no desire anytime soon, but after having the week in that flat and realising we bickered a lot less, and if we can budget, we can do it, we can live together, makes me want to do it so much.